I am now really happy to introduce Her Excellency Ms. Cara Owen, British High Commissioner to Singapore and ASEF's Governor for the United Kingdom. With an academic background in history, diplomacy, and international strategy, as well as international human resource management, Her Excellency's diplomatic experiences range over the Asian, European, and American continents. Before taking up her post in Singapore, she was Director for the Americas in the Foreign and Commonwealth Offices. Your Excellency, we look forward to your opening remarks.
Well, Freya, Director Morikawa, thank you so much for those introductory remarks, and also for welcoming me to this day. I'm really impressed by Asia-Europe Foundation and the National Economic Opportunities Network for organising this event to mark the World Access to Higher Education Day. And I'm really pleased to be with you. Opening up educational opportunities is a critically important subject for our world, and it's one that I care really passionately about on a personal level. You heard from the introduction that I have not only diplomacy but also HR in my background, so I spent an awful lot of time thinking about skills and learning, and how that can make us all as good as we possibly can be as we chart our way in our own careers and contribute to our societies. I grew up in a poorer part of the UK, and I was really conscious that my own access to university education was much more an accident of birth than a confirmation of my own talent. In those days, in the 1980s, many people I went to school with could have had an excellent university education and subsequent professional career. But for one reason or another, be that cultural, family expectations, lack of resources, lack of encouragement, possibly discriminatory admission systems, they just didn't. I did, but they didn't. The UK and their families probably lost out on a level of enhanced productivity and resources as a result of that. Our Prime Minister Boris Johnson cares deeply about access to education. He talks passionately about the fact that were we to ensure that all girls in the world have 12 years of quality education, this would be the single biggest contribution we could make towards reducing poverty, reducing child marriage, reducing conflict, reducing health problems, and reducing other social ills. 131 million girls around the world still lack this access. And that was why the UK announced in 2019 an extra £515 million of new funding to get 12 million more girls in school. This isn't just a gender issue, but quoting those statistics just helps us understand how unequal access to education can still be in our world. The transformative power of education can be seen everywhere. The first Prime Minister to Singapore, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, was famously committed to education as one of the 3 drivers of Singapore's remarkable development. He's been proven absolutely right on that score. Singapore has amongst the highest level of educational achievement in the world, and in terms of building a society that is able to adapt to and grow even during challenging circumstances like now, and where agility is required, that investment is really proving its worth. In the UK, our world-class universities are transforming the lives of individuals, but also taking humanity forward with cutting-edge research, including most topically on the COVID-19 vaccine development. COVID-19 is disrupting how we thought we would have access to education for many people around the world. And my government, as with many governments across the world, are thinking hard about how inequality in those impacts can have a longer term impact on our societies. Schools and universities are having to adapt, and to adapt really quickly, in particular by increasing online activities and making them really high quality. So COVID has presented real challenges. There have been impacts on our incomes that could have a longer term impact on education. But also, because I'm optimistic by nature, some of these adaptations that the university sector is reaching for can also really help with opening up access. And that can start all the way from virtual introduction tours right the way through to delivering quality education. Many of my school friends, when I go back to that period in the 1980s, couldn't even imagine what a university looked like, didn't even know, had never been to any of those buildings and couldn't even see themselves there. But now we can arrange virtual tours to lift that curtain and to help give people confidence and courage to be able to take that step. In the UK, Uni4Me is a new online hub led by Neon, and it brings together over 50 higher education and other organisations to offer virtual, online and blended learning courses. These include online tuition and support in core subjects and live events involving leading academics, students and specialist higher education advisors. For many people, that level of access will be beyond their wildest dreams. Similarly, to help higher education lead to real social mobility, another UK organisation, Upreach, recently launched a new range of assessed virtual internships that have delivered opportunities to over 1,000 disadvantaged students. These have provided training in areas from communication skills to coding and connected students to graduate positions at leading firms such as Deloitte and McKinsey, names that all of us know as world-class organisations. Indeed, there are plenty of outstanding organisations in the UK that support disadvantaged students to achieve. For example, Generating Genius. This equips students with STEM knowledge and skills, assisting students from minority backgrounds to gain places at our leading universities and businesses. Zero Gravity is a digital platform that connects state school students from low-income backgrounds with undergraduate mentors who encourage and help them through the university application process for leading universities. Each one of these initiatives looks at removing all of the barriers that can stop people taking that steps. Of course, barriers to access go beyond just what I've been talking about there, which is admittance onto a university course. Even once you're there, unequal outcomes can persist. In the UK, students from ethnic minorities are more likely to go to university than their white British student counterparts. But Black British students, for instance, our statistics show, are less likely than white students to stay in higher education once they've got there. They're less likely to gain a good final degree grade, and they're less likely to be in highly skilled employment after graduation. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for our people, or for our society, or for our economy. In 2016, statistics also showed that graduates in the UK from lower income households could earn 10% less than those from higher income households after studying the same course at the same university. So clearly, comprehensive action is required from institutes of higher education to address such imbalances, and for our whole society. In the UK, the Office for Students, the regulator for higher education in England, has a statutory duty to promote equality of opportunity in relation to the whole student life cycle for disadvantaged and traditionally underrepresented groups. All higher education providers wishing to charge tuition fees above the basic level of £6,000 a year must agree a plan with the Office for Students, which sets out targets and expenditure to improve access and participation. Through these plans, higher education providers deliver a range of activities such as schools outreach, summer schools, financial support, and support targeted at key groups such as care leaders. These plans from all the higher education institutions involved can be viewed online by the public. Another lever is, of course, funding. The UK's Department for Education, via the Office for Students, provides formula-based funding known as the Student Premium, and this is currently allocated in recognition of the additional costs associated with supporting particular students, including those deemed at risk of discontinuing, those who have disabilities or part-time students. Many approaches are required to crack the problems around access to education. What is so brilliant about WAHED and this day and this event is that by pooling your experience across so many countries, you are capable of generating new solutions and ensuring that brilliant ideas don't just stay in one country. We all have need of cracking this problem. And so by sharing the initiatives that are happening across the world, we have a much bigger chance of identifying some solutions that could work for us. I want this event and all of you to be incredibly successful in your mission. I really hope the event today is a success. We at the British High Commission in Singapore and our colleagues around the world would love to hear the outcomes and stand ready to connect you into some of the key organisations in the UK. I'm sure we have a huge amount to learn from all of you. Thanks again for inviting me, and good luck with the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.